Hi, I'm Mark T.J Keane. I'm the founder of Sleeping Serpent. And in this video, we're just going to cover, well, exactly who am I and what am I about, really, and what is Sleeping Serpent? Well, it all started in 2003, where I had a spiritual awakening. And this spiritual awakening flooded my whole body with light, and it lasted for 2 whole weeks. And in that moment, I realized that the Great Pyramid of Egypt was actually there to elevate the planet and raise the frequency of whoever went into it. And they could actually use this to astral travel to different star systems. It was like a memory. And so the very next day, flooded with light, I discovered alchemy, I discovered Kabbalah, and I heard about Kundalini yoga. So I started practicing Kabbalah and alchemy right from there, from the book that I bought, The Tower of Alchemy, in 2003. And the following weekend, I went along and did Kundalini yoga with Amber in Chalk Farm in London. Now, that completely blew me away because it amplified everything that I was feeling by about 10 times. So over 20 years later, at the time of making this video, I'm still practicing Kundalini yoga, working with the Kundalini in my own way, because it is definitely my path. It's my chosen destiny. It's why I chose to come here. But very soon after, I wanted to know, well, who's working with the Kundalini energy with dance? And I discovered Leola and Tara in Australia. So I flew to Australia to do the Kundalini dance training. So ever since 2005, from going to Australia and then along to India to actually become a Kundalini yoga teacher, I came back to the UK and started teaching in 2006, both Kundalini yoga and Kundalini dance. And they're really, really powerful. And to this day, here in the UK, together with Kirsty Lewis, a friend of mine and another Kundalini yogi, we have co-created these incredible conscious clubbing events that are called Kundalini clubbing, that start with a cacao ceremony. Then we go into the Kundalini yoga, which Kirsty teaches, and then I lead the Kundalini dance. And then from there, we have a free dance where we just have a conscious clubbing space. And finally, we lie down and have a gong bath. So that's the Kundalini clubbing. But over the last 12 years, I've gone more and more online, and I've started to develop all these systems, from the dragon yoga, which works with the Celtic chakras, which I discovered in a Welsh poem by Taliesin. My spiritual awakening was all to do with the pyramid. So I've turned that into ancient Egyptian serpent shamanism, which is basically our ability to activate the Kundalini and the Merkaba to travel into different star systems, imagining really that we go into the pyramid, which makes up part of our Merkaba. So there are many things which I've started to teach online, from the Kabbalah to alchemy to all of the things that are very, very special and sacred to me, that I have studied over the last 2 decades plus. So I've put that all onto a part of my website called Mark's Magical Mystery School. So that's all on there. All of my courses, almost 40 courses at the time of making this video. The best way to navigate that is to become a member, to subscribe, and then you have access to absolutely everything. I've also developed my own system of Kundalini awakening called the Kundalini Awakening System, which is 8 phases, because the Kundalini pulses to the rhythm of 8 as it incorporates the 7 chakras, the 7 frequencies which we embody. And this is completely unique to me. So the Kundalini Awakening System is very, very powerful. I can teach it over about 4 sessions online. So check that out if you're interested in awakening your Kundalini in a very powerful, direct, and incredibly safe way. So essentially, whether it's Kundalini yoga, Kundalini dance, Kundalini awakening, Kundalini clubbing, I'm all about the Kundalini. Even when I'm working with the Kabbalah or with the alchemy, or any of my hats to do with being a wizard, it's all to do with igniting this Kundalini. In the West, we knew that as the secret fire, the alchemist fire, the philosopher's fire, and the East, it's been known as Kundalini Shakti, Kundalini Shakti. It's got many names, but essentially, if we want to really get in touch with who we are and transmute all of our shadow, all of our darkness, all of our stuckness, all of our tiredness. We have to ignite this sacred and secret fire of the Kundalini. And that is the divine feminine, which clears the path. It clears the 7 chakras so that we can access this spiritual dimension of who we really are and where we actually came from. So we can consciously embody the physical body with our soul. And then we fully realize ourselves as a spiritual being, which is immortal, completely eternal and infinite, having a temporary physical mortal experience. And that is self-realization. That is enlightenment. That is the goal of the Kundalini awakening. And that is what I'm all about across all the plethora of things that I teach as a Kundalini yogi, as an alchemist, as a mystic, and above all, as a wizard, as I've always considered myself to be since being a young child. So that's a little bit about me, about my background, what I offer here on Sleeping Serpent and Mark's Magical Mystery School. I hope to meet you in person in the UK. Otherwise, I'm always available online, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.